12 signs that your priorities have become toxic and are poisoning your life. Life priorities are the things you consider most important to you. You set goals for yourself according to them and try to achieve what you want. The disturbing truth is that priorities can become harmful to yourself and those around you. Here are a few signs that they've become toxic. You're focused on external approval. Many people don't live their lives for themselves, but for others. And we're not talking about the desire to genuinely help those in need right now. When you spend your mental and physical energy trying to conform to ideals imposed by pop culture, friends, family, or strangers, you're focused on external approval. And this can lead you to forget what you want for yourself. Common signs that your priorities are becoming toxic start with this very problem. You're stuck in only the fittest survive mentality. You're probably aware that we live in a pretty cruel world. And when faced with injustice, failure, betrayal, it's easy to get stuck in only the strongest survive mentality. Because of this, you think there's always a winner and a loser in life, and of course, you absolutely hate to be an outsider. Often this is what makes you spit on others and go over the heads for the sake of your own success. But the problem is that this approach to life can end in loneliness, dissatisfaction and disappointment. It's important to move toward your goals, but also remember that someone doesn't necessarily have to lose in order for you to rise up. In many cases, mutual support and cooperative efforts can bring better results and progress. Your priorities have to do with manipulation and lying. There are many examples of lying for good, and in some cases it is the lying that can do more good than the bitter truth. And in general, manipulation and lying can give you a lot of benefits: money, reputation, contracts, power, entertainment, sex. However, they can never provide you with self-respect, true love and friendship. If you manipulate others to achieve your goals, you may end up empty-handed. All the wealth and power that has become a toxic priority will be useless, as there will be no one to truly love you. And it's important to figure out if it's worth it or not. You're too focused on material success. Many of us feel strong emotions when we think about money and wealth. But, if your entire life becomes focused on amassing a material fortune, no matter the cost, great difficulties begin. More often than not, it costs you true love, friendship, and other intangible goods. So it's worth checking to see if you've lost something important that money can't buy by making wealth a toxic life priority. You let others treat you badly if it benefits you. There are many situations in life where you can get ahead by tolerating mistreatment from others. For example, coexisting with a toxic boss, dating a narcissistic but rich lover, or socializing with people who don't respect you. You tolerate their presence in your life for the sake of benefiting from them. But unfortunately, this approach to life and priorities leads to loss of self-esteem and mental health problems. You strive for status at any cost. There is nothing wrong with wanting a high status in society. Power and prestige can be used for both good and bad. But, if your priorities are built solely on gaining status, they are toxic. In fact, because of this, people often behave inappropriately with those around them and tolerate being treated that way. You crave power more than justice. If your priorities revolve around seeking power more than justice, they can't be called healthy. And justice in this context is a reflection of the simple principle of doing what is right. It's like making a choice between getting $1 million in cash or saving an innocent man from jail. If you like power more than justice, you'll choose the cash. But the thing is, everything in the world is connected, and an injustice to one is always an injustice to all. If you realize that this is the case, you will choose the second option. You are emotionally codependent. Emotional codependency is an unpleasant and often discouraging experience that many people go through in romantic, friendship, and family relationships. It is essentially a situation where you need people in an unhealthy way while being a victim who relies on your savior. There's nothing wrong with being interested in relationships and caring for those around you. But this prioritization becomes toxic when it robs you of the opportunity to be an individual with your own interests, needs, and goals. Your ideology trumps your humanity. We all believe in different ideologies. And if your beliefs trump your humanity, your priorities are clearly out of whack. Common examples of this include a willingness to physically harm others because of their personality or beliefs, and ideas of your own superiority. You may have more money, power, strength, or beauty, but that is no reason why you have the right to oppress those around you or believe that they are times worse than you. You should never forget that we are all human. You don't tolerate disagreement. Life inevitably leads to a lot of disagreements, from domestic disputes to feelings of injustice or disrespect in relationships. Sometimes you just have to accept that it can't be avoided and eventually move on. But if your priorities become toxic, you can't let go of situations that involve disagreements. You always need to be the winner in every argument and the only right person. You can't live your life in a way that you always agree with you, nor can you like everyone around you. This is something to keep in mind to avoid intolerance and to avoid making your own priorities toxic. You keep clinging to things you can't control. Not everything in our lives is controllable, and this is something to realize. Some things are out of reach, no matter how unpleasant it may be. If you keep clinging to what you can't control, your priorities can't be called healthy. For example, when you try to change other people against their will or try to force them to do what you want them to do, the key is on what you can do, not on what is out of your control. Only then can you build a happy life. You're trying to be good. If your priorities are built around wanting to be good for others, we have bad news for you. Because of this desire, you're pushing your needs to the back burner, limiting yourself in many ways, and simply forgetting how to be yourself. And the biggest problem with this is that no one will appreciate it. Yes, many people will think you are a good person, but their opinion will be based on the perception of not who you are, but who you are trying to appear to be. The rose-colored glasses are broken inward, and in all people. It is not necessary to appear good, it is important to strive for it without losing yourself as a person and refusing to blindly please others.